There's no words. This show's so good it doesn't need words in the theme song.
It just has vibes
It's just all vibes, and I feel like there's a heartbeat in there. It's like ba bum
for
ba bum
sure.
ba bum.
For sure.
Because this TV show makes your heart race, or it makes my heart race. My name's Todd Adams, everybody,
And this is Kathy Adams.
and we're here for Zen Pop Parenting. Sweetie, tell the audience what Zen Pop Parenting is, and then which episode this happens to be.
Okay, so this is Zen Pop Parenting, where Gen X pop culture meets real life reflection. And today we are doing Stranger Things Season 1, What the Upside Down Teaches Us About Our Shadow Selves, Trauma, and Grief. So this is a deep one. And I'm super excited because I think that's rolling in the deep. That comes later.
Yeah, you said it was the deep one.
Right.
It's good.
Well, I think I have a hot take right off the bat before we even start. Do you have a hot take?
It's hot. This is hot. Never got this hot in Brooklyn. It's like Africa hot.
Tarzan.
Tarzan couldn't take this kind of hot.
I love that soundbite.
Matthew Broderick, right?
You are coming out of the gate with a hot
Hot
take.
take. My hot take is Stranger Things is my favorite show ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this one of those things where you say that 25 different bands are in your top 10 favorite bands?
Well, maybe it's right now because we just finished watching season 1 again, but I don't know if there is a show out there that captures all the things I love
I'm going to go ahead
at once.
I'm going to go ahead and try to debate you on this.
Okay,
And
give it a
maybe
go.
it's too early.
Okay.
But you have seen Sex in the City a bazillion times.
I know.
And we are rewatching Stranger Things right now. And you have seen these season 2 episodes that we're presently watching probably 2 or 3 times. And I feel like you've watched Sex in the City season 2 42 times.
Okay, let me explain. Obviously, I have other favorite shows. I have, Parks and Rec and 30 Rock and all the shows I watch, and Sex and the City and Friends, like all my favorite TV shows, yes. But this is a very special, like drama kind of Sunday night. And actually, it's not because they dropped them all at once, but it feels like
Not season 5.
yeah, right. That's gonna be different. But it feels like the way Lost felt. And I loved Lost, but
Except for seasons 3 and 4. Just kidding.
it was 2.
Yeah, maybe it was
Which
2.
there was one we
There's
didn't
some
like.
bad seasons.
They didn't know where they were going until the end.
They didn't.
But Stranger Things has all the pieces that I love. And it's not a perfect show. It's just I enjoy it the most. I am so happy to be rewatching all of it with
Which
you.
is interesting because you usually don't like to be scared. And there's some scary stuff. You were hiding your face last night.
Dude, it is 100% not true that I don't like to be scared. I love to watch thrillers. I love to watch scary movies. I'm not saying I watch all the scenes. I cover my face, but you are like, you've been married to me for 20 something years and you think I don't
Only
like scary
movies
things?
you like to watch that are scary are movies that you've seen a bunch of times. There are a few exceptions, like we saw Paranormal Activity. We've seen a few other newer scary movies, but for the most part, like Babadook.
Well, yeah, but there was a reason I didn't want to see that
Because it
was
was
about
scary.
grief. No, it was about
Oh.
motherhood grief and about it had a deeper, meaning behind the whole thing. And I was in the throes of parenting and I'm like, I'm not going there. But I mean, we just watched The Conjuring the other night and that was like my pick.
Didn't we like get bored and turn
No,
it
we
off?
fell asleep.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
let's set the scene so we can jump into
Go
that.
ahead and do that. All right, we are setting the scene. I got some stuff for this category. It's
Let's hear it.
it's 1983, everybody. The
Okay.
Reagan era, the Cold War tension that plays into the show itself. I think about it, it's our childhood. We grew up. I was born in 72, you were born in 71. This takes place in 83. So I was 11 and you were 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons I think you love the show and I love the show is because of the latchkey kid type of thing where our parents didn't know where the heck we were and you get on your dirt bikes.
This time of my life, I have the most memories of. Like, of course, I can remember high school and everything, but 12, I remember everything.
Yep.
Like all the movies, I remember what I was doing. Some of my choices weren't great. It was the music. I remember the movies I was seeing. I remember what my room looked like. I had a big Ghostbusters poster on my wall.
Who are you going to call?
I remember the whole thing. So part of that's in there for sure.
I like the idea. I just like the idea of riding around in the neighborhood on my bike with my buddies.
I know, but you're jumping to remember when.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. We got to set the scene with Hawkins, Indiana, right?
Right.
It's a Midwestern town, as Todd said, in 1983. The town seems normal, but it's not. It seems normal on the surface, but something's going on as far as government secrets,
Something is amiss.
supernatural mysteries, whatever it may be. And there's a ton of, as we were just saying, 80s pop culture in there. Do you see the pieces I love? There's walkie-talkies, Dungeons and Dragons, rotary phones, fluorescent lights. And there's also, these are all the pieces that are connected to the growing unease. This is what literally setting the scene for what's going to happen. And this is the story in like three sentences. You ready?
Yeah.
Will Byers, this is a kid in the neighborhood, disappears without a trace. His friends, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin, search for him. They encounter a mysterious girl named 11. She had escaped from a secretive government lab known as Hawkins National Laboratory, which is conducting dangerous experiments related to a dimension called the Upside Down. So that's the premise. And that doesn't even include all the other people in it, but that's the story that they're going to, tell that will unfold.
Yeah. Should we do the remember when, or is that enough for setting the scene?
Well, let's go over everybody who's in it. We don't have to get deep unless you want to. Why don't I say them? And if you want to say something back to me, go ahead.
Sure, go
okay.
ahead.
So let's go over the kids. These are the, basically what the story revolves around.
Yeah.
Number one, Mike Wheeler.
Yeah.
He's kind of the leader of the friend group, at least at this point in their lives. Lucas Sinclair.
Yeah.
He's really smart, but also very skeptical in this season.
And also very mean to 11.
Initially, but there's deep reasons why, which is kind of, I hope we get to that,
Okay.
As we go, because Lucas is not a mean person.
No.
There's something that he feels like he's losing by allowing 11 in their group. Dustin Henderson, he's funny, curious, loyal.
That's my guy.
That's Todd's guy. And he's also brilliant. Like he brings a lot of the awareness to this group in season one. Then we go to Will Byers, who is a big part of episode 1 because he is taken, but you don't see him for a while,
right?
Until later in the season.
Sorry.
And he's more sensitive, artistic, and he's a little more like. Well, we'll just say sensitive for now.
He is a sensitive young man.
And then finally, 11, who they start calling her Elle, because 11 is very dehumanizing.
Yeah.
She's been given a number, and they're like, wait, why don't we just call you Elle?
Papa?
Papa. So anyway, she has powers and a traumatic past.
Yes.
Okay. So now the Byers family, 2 more people, because Will Byers, obviously, and then Joyce Byers. And Jonathan Byers.
Yeah.
So Joyce is his mother. She's insanely fierce and loyal and protective and just an amazing mother in so many ways. And then Jonathan is his brother.
We'll be talking about Joyce.
Going to talk about Joyce.
Say that.
Then the other adults, Chief Jim Hopper, the police detective, or he's the police chief. And then Dr. Martin Brenner, Papa.
Loudon Swain.
Loudon Swain, that's Matthew Modine. And then finally the teens, Nancy Wheeler, who becomes involved because her friend Barb is also taken. Steve Harrington, that's her boyfriend who she's dating. He starts off really shallow, but he evolves. And then let's see. Then finally the side characters, the lab agents at Hawkins Lab, Mr. Clark, the boy's science teacher, Lonnie Byers, the father of Jonathan and Will, and then Ted and Karen Wheeler, Mike's parents.
Love Ted.
Are clueless.
We'll be talking about Ted.
Clueless. So if you would like to go into Remember When.
I remember when you couldn't
Wait to love me. All right, my remember when is first of all the first episode has a lot of D&D going on.
Sure does.
And I was a D&D nerd, and I say that term with pride.
You sure do.
I think D&D is such so I played maybe not through high school, but into high school. So I don't know if I played as a junior or senior, but I certainly played as a freshman and a sophomore. And it is a creative Expansive game where it's so fun and it's scary because you have this character, you create a character, you roll a bunch of dice and you create a character. You get to name your character, you get to decide what type of character he is, if he's a fighter, if he's a cleric, he's a magician, he's a warrior, whatever it is. And then you like start identifying with this character. And if you make the wrong moves, your character will die. The dungeon, you roll dice to see if you're like when you're in a battle with somebody, and if you roll a 17 or higher, then you hit them, and then the monster that you're fighting or these other people you're fighting, the dungeon master rolls their own dice, and if you do enough, if you make enough bad decisions, this character that you created, that you built up over weeks, months, years, can die. So it's high stakes in a weird way.
It feels intense.
And I just love Dungeons and Dragons. Part of me wishes I still played, but I don't know where I would fit that into my schedule. Because it's funny, there's a line in, I think, episode 1 or whatever, and they're like, "Well, I've been here 10 hours." Like,
They've been playing 10
literally
hours.
that game, like chess is a long game or Risk is a long game. Dungeons and Dragons takes years.
And what do they call it when they're playing a campaign?
Yeah.
So what is that?
So you get a module.
Okay.
And there is and it's like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 pages, small type, and the dungeon master reads it. And the dungeon master is one of your friends who understands the world that you're being thrown into, and there is a goal at the end to whatever, get the treasure or defeat this monster or whatever it is, and you have to navigate your way through it, and the dungeon master kind of guides you, and you get to make decisions, and there's teamwork involved, and it's just
wow,
so fun.
You've never talked so extensively about something. That's great.
I just feel like the people that I live with aren't all that interested in me talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, you're right that nobody wants to play with you, and we all know that you used to play, but I can just tell by your demeanor that it just must have been. Doing that. I'm trying to give you a compliment.
Nobody wants to play with me.
Sorry, but nobody has 10 hours to play in the basement.
No.
Because it feels like something you have to play in a basement.
It is total basement game.
Like in the dark.
Yeah, and you got sheets and papers. If you're outside, it's windy. Like it is a dark, basement-y type of place.
Well, I think that's great, and I love that you used to play. And sometimes when we're watching Dungeons and Dragons, and they bring something up because really Dungeons and Dragons is used as the premise of this entire show.
Right.
Like what the creatures are named, what each kid brings to the situation.
Demogorgon, Mind Flare. What are some of the
like Will the Wise, and he's the cleric, and just the way the boys see themselves in the group.
Yeah.
Or they call it the party.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
The party, the group.
Yes.
So they see themselves as those characters they play, and that's what they bring to their friendship, and so it's like this is the foundation of everything,
Yeah.
So a few things that I actually didn't even say that this show, Stranger Things season 1, came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually July 15, 2016, a couple of weeks before my birthday. So 2016 was an interesting year. I like to think about it as the year I went back to therapy. It was hard because we had a tough election in November. That was heartbreaking. My dad was very sick. He was actually in the hospital during that election. And at the same time, 2 good things happened. Number 1, Stranger Things came into our lives. And number 2, the Cubs won the World Series. So we had some good things going on. And I'm just very grateful for those things because they helped sustain me.
Did we watch it when it started? I know I think you and the girls started it earlier than I did, and I had to kind of catch up. So
you actually didn't watch season 1 with us.
No, I don't think I did.
Because we got so into it, and then you were like, wait a second, I want to watch with you guys. But you started in season 2.
Yeah.
I think we gave you one of those fast-paced trailers so you could catch up. So you and I then just watched season 1 together. Like we literally just finished it. Yeah. So, again, why, as far as remember when, part of the reason I love this show so much is it is a reflection of my childhood because of all of the pieces that they bring into it as far as the movies that they were watching, as far as what the Duffer Brothers, who are the producers of Stranger Things, what they what influenced their decision making was a lot of movies that are from our lives. They're from the 80s. And so you can see it, even things like, the Demogorgon is based on The Thing, which we've seen the movie The Thing too, John Carpenter's movie. And, in Mike's bedroom, there is a poster of The Thing. Like there's a lot of overlapping, like not only do these kids love this, but the show is influenced by the filmmakers who made these other movies. Sure. So it's just very, lot of depth to it. And it's also it's about friendship. It's really warm. Like there's a lot of love in this show.
For sure.
A lot of teamwork in this show. It's a coming of age show, like where they're, starting to see themselves differently growing up. It's about families. It's about strong women. It's about good men who are really good and dedicated to each other. And it's funny.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like how many shows have all of those things? And plus it's done well.
Yeah.
Like we can all debate season 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is coming. And I like them all, but season 1 is incredible.
No doubt.
And it has all the pieces. So that's my remember when.
All right. Very good. Let's head on over to.
Pounds. Yeah, do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
Favorite.
I know it is. So I have a handful of things here, so bear with me.
Yeah, you go first.
First
and
of
then I'll
all, season 1 nominated for Emmys 18 times.
Wow.
They won 5 of them, mostly for visual.
Yeah, like
stuff.
production things.
I don't know if any actors or actresses won Emmys for that
so.
role. The series was originally titled Montauk, which was based on a real town in Montauk, New York.
Mm-hmm.
For inspiration, the Duffers referenced the font and style of Stephen King's. Any idea?
I think it was it Cujo?
Firestarter.
I think it was also Cujo.
I
think it was both.
Maybe. The title Stranger Things was chosen partly because it echoed the tone of Stephen King's Needful Things.
Okay.
Was that I don't remember that book. Do you remember?
I did not read it, but I do remember that piece of trivia.
And you did talk a little bit about this, but just some of the, they tip their hat to certain filmmakers and books. The Duffer Brothers, who made the show, have cited as influence for the show Stephen King, Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Bob Zemeckis, George Lucas, films such as Alien and Stand By Me. I mean, there's a bunch.
Yeah, actually, Todd, I have all of them right here.
Go ahead.
So let's go through them just so E.T., which it's really obvious because the kids hiding 11, the bike riding, and 11 like flipping the van.
Yep.
It's kind of them, instead of them going up in the air, the van flips. The Goonies, which I know is one of your favorite, a group of adventurous kids solving a mystery. Stand By Me, there's all sorts of references, them walking on the railroad tracks together. And that comes back in season 2 also. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the obsessive drawing of symbols and, just like Richard Dreyfuss drawing, sculpting the Devil's Tower. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Firestarter, you already mentioned that. Girl with telekinetic powers being chased by the government. That was Drew Barrymore was Firestarter. Carrie, which was nosebleeds linked to psychic powers. Her nose would bleed too, just like
Really?
Eleven's. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then also, isolated female character, feared because of her abilities. That was Carrie too. A Nightmare on Elm Street, a monster from a parallel dimension that attacks from the walls and ceilings like Freddy Krueger. And that's where Nancy got her name because Nancy in, Nightmare on Elm Street. And then there's Nancy in Stranger Things. And then we already talked about The Thing, the creature design, the Demogorgon's body is, that's where it comes from. Jaws, the slow reveal of the monster, the tension is around what you don't see.
Yeah.
We don't see things for a long time.
Right.
And then also Hopper being the small town sheriff trying to figure it out. Poltergeist, a child pulled through another dimension in the wall.
Boom.
Parents trying to communicate with them. Aliens, the dark corridors, the monster stalking from above. That's really in the Hawkins lab.
Yep.
The Shining, psychic powers with the emotional toll that they take on you, haunted minds, all that kind of stuff. Altered States. Do you remember Altered States?
I think I remember the movie box, but I don't remember if I've ever seen it.
I think William Hurt was in it. I can't remember, but Sensory Deprivation Tank is a portal to another dimension. That's from that movie. Scanners, remember where their head explodes?
Vaguely.
Telekinetic and psychic combat, bleeding from the nose and head, similar. And then the movie It, Stephen King's It.
Oh, yeah.
Kids versus supernatural evil.
Yeah.
It's just like that. So that's a lot.
It is a lot.
I mean, that is like so, and then there's more like Gremlins, The Fog. I just didn't want
And
to.
I heard that some of it was deliberate by the Duffer Brothers, and some of it was just simply unconscious. Like,
Really?
yeah, like they're like they weren't. It was just part of what they experienced growing up, so they just threw it in there.
Totally. It's like you write what you know,
Right.
right? And that's what they've seen and that's what was interesting to them. But put it this way, as a viewer, again, part of the reason I love it so much is you feel those connections.
A few other things. Joyce was fashioned after Richard Dreyfuss's character Roy Neary in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Great.
I've never seen that movie either.
Oh,
Is that good?
it's very
Does
good.
that age well, you think, or
I don't
probably
know.
not?
I remember feeling like I saw it when I was really young, and I feel like I was really bored until the end. The
Interesting.
end is so phenomenal. As an adult, now it would make more sense to me. I think the other thing that bothered me is the little boy is taken.
Bummer.
Richard Dreyfuss, not his little boy, but the woman's little boy, and that really bothered me. Not to ruin it for people, but he's brought back at
Sweetie,
the end
This is, you can ruin it. It's 40 years old. It's fine.
for a while. But he, like I said, he makes the Devil's Tower, which we saw in South Dakota. Right?
We did.
Isn't that where that is?
The Duffer Brothers recognized, and you talked about Poltergeist, and they said it's about taking a very ordinary object
Yep.
that people deal with every day, their television set, like in Poltergeist, with Christmas lights for Joyce.
Yes.
Like, so that was a little tip to that. And then I don't know if we're going to talk about the music, but we got The Clash, Toto, New Order, The Bangles, Foreigner, Echo and the Bunnymen, Peter Gabriel, and Corey Hart. And obviously, Should I Stay or Should I Go is the main song for season 1.
Yeah, it is again, another foundational element. Should I stay or should I go has all these levels, not just the lyrics themselves. Should I stay or should I go? Because Will is taken to the upside down and he's trying to stay alive, but it's also his connection to his brother.
Yep.
It's also the music that he and his brother listen to drown out the arguments of their parents.
Yep.
There's a lot of depth to that. And obviously it's, it helps us connect to that time period too, because that's when the song came out.
I don't know how to pronounce, is it Gayton or Dustin's? Gayton Matarazzo. Dustin has cleidocranial dysplasia, and it was written into his character. So I don't think that was the plan for the Duffer Brothers, but they saw this kid and like, we got to get this kid and let's just write with him in mind. So
Yeah.
they did that.
And he had been on Broadway. He kind of already had a career. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And then lastly, Millie Bobby Brown. Guess how many words she said in the entire first season?
not a lot. I'm going to say 30.
246.
That's still, I was totally off.
You were a little off. 30 is, we probably have said 30 in the last 4 seconds.
I know that was a bad guess. It's just, sorry, everybody, bad guess. But the reason that I say that is because all of her conversations with Mike are one word. Bad.
Sorry, I
That was
did do
bad.
that.
Ruined. But she has one word conversations.
Yes.
Pretty.
Yep.
That kind
Pretty.
of thing. Pretty.
Are we ready for the next category?
No.
No. Go ahead.
So a few things, random facts that the boys in the party of the show, they had played Dungeons and Dragons for real before filming began.
Nice. Love that.
So the Duffer Brothers had them do a campaign together before they started filming so they could kind of get each other's energy. 11's favorite snack is Eggo waffles, as we all know, but that was unscripted. They added it after seeing how much Millie Bobby Brown loved eating Eggos.
Yep.
They brought it into the show. We already know about the Demogorgon. Oh, the Upside Down had a secret name during production. They referred to it as the Nether
Oh, okay.
before they started calling it the Upside Down. So it changed. And let's see, Millie Bobby Brown, in the show, her head is shaved and she was really nervous about it. But then she watched Mad Max Fury Road with Charlize Theron and she said, okay, I'll shave my head because
Love it.
Charlize did too. And then also, we kind of already said this, but just, before we move on, Dungeons and Dragons in this show isn't just the game. It's a guide to the mystery. Like they use it as and that was intentional. They use the game to figure out what to do next. Oh, who is this? Does she have, Todd and I are watching season 2 now, and there's moments where they're like, wait, does he have true sight? Because that comes in they start to figure out what's going to happen next based on the game they play. So I think that for people like you, Todd, who are big fans.
Well,
That must be fun.
I'm gonna play the theme song to a Saturday morning cartoon called Dungeons and Dragons. I used to love. It was one of my favorite Saturday morning cartoon songs. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but for the nerds like me, here you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's just giving. Here we go. It's coming. I promise.
Dungeons and Dragons ride.
So they're at this like state fair or something like that, and they go on this ride, and it has all these Dungeons and Dragons and all that, and then they end up catapulting themselves into the world itself. They
Oh,
each become a character. So for the other people out there who love D&D, I'm sure that they know exactly what this theme.
never heard of it.
Really?
Never. Mm-mm.
Here, you want to, because the Dungeon Master is kind of like Yoda. He's got some Yoda energy.
Okay.
So
Fear not, ranger, barbarian, magician, thief.
and he comes in with all these riddles the same way that Yoda does. But anyways, and he's like a little tiny guy who just floats around.
You know what? I don't like that show. I already know I wouldn't like it. And because I also didn't like He-Man and I didn't like She-Ra and I didn't like any of those those shows where they had swords. You know,
It was
that
different.
was not my jam.
And the thing about the show is they were always so close because the whole idea was to get back home.
Yeah.
And they were always so close, and they're like this portal, kind of like in Stranger Things, and they can actually see the place that they left as normal human beings, and something just always got in the way.
They couldn't do
And
it.
the main dragon, the main bad guy, well, there was I forget the name of the bad guy, but the monster was Tiamat, and it was like a 7-headed dragon.
And you know what?
But
7-headed or okay, because there's going to be a 3-headed dragon. That's a big part of
Yeah.
season 5 of Stranger Things.
let me do
Something
a
that
little
Will
research on
drew. What was the show that was like they were animals and they became like it was
the New Zoo Review.
no, that was funny. It was like a He-Man thing, and they were like striped. I don't remember.
Zebras,
No, those are real.
tigers.
I don't remember. I just know that any of those shows, I was super bummed when they started to take over my afternoon cartoons.
Yeah.
Like when I'd come home and be like, this is not what I want to see. So anyway, that's when things started to go bad for me cartoon wise.
Very good.
Okay, you ready for WTF?
Let's head on over there. Why don't we?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
All right. So for WTF, I got a handful of things. Let me just rattle just a few off.
Why are you
We love Joyce. We love Joyce.
Joyce is our girl.
Joyce is, you just want Joyce on your side, and the way she smokes cigarettes and how
Is the
intense
best.
she is. But just like,
I want to sit down and smoke with Joyce Byers.
I'm sure you do. And she's really good at it. And just the whole the Christmas tree lights.
Oh, she's so in.
She's so in. And it's also kind of like, what are they doing? And how does, like, even in that podcast we listened to, they're like, how does Will from the Upside Down know which of the letters that
Because it doesn't transfer. They
because it
can't
doesn't
see.
transfer, they can't see it.
I
So-
think from what we understand from the things we've read about season 1 is this was supposed to be an anthology and it wasn't supposed to be a continuation of the same story. And so they were going to continue telling stories, the Duffer Brothers, but they didn't know it was going to be about all these people
Yeah.
over and over again. But it was so beloved that they had to keep going. And so maybe some of those things they hadn't thought through yet, or I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me. And the truth is, Todd, honestly, like, again, I don't want to like ruin anything for anybody, but there's a lot of thought that the person making those lights flicker was not Will.
Yeah.
You know, it was this creature we call Vecna. That's what I'll stop with. Are we going to try and stay inside the lines of season 1
Yeah,
here?
I think
So I shouldn't be telling anything else. Okay. So there's some conversation about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So the other WTF is
wait, can we stick on Joyce for one
Oh,
second?
sure.
There's, and again, I wish we could play this scene, but it won't translate because there's just too much visual. But first of all, like Todd said, Joyce is so intense and she just knows that there's a body that's found in the water and everyone's like, yeah, it's Will Byers. And she's like, it is not my son. I am certain it's not my son. I've been talking to him through the lights in the wall and it's not my son. And everyone's like, she's crazy. She's losing it. And, everyone thinks that she's just gone off the deep end. And after she is in the morgue, she's like, nope, that's not my son. And she's walking home like really angry. And Jonathan's like driving alongside of her like, Mom. And Todd and I were like, I don't even know if it translates, but she was so mad and she's just like shooing him away. And I'm like, that is a mom on a mission. And it was funny.
I just did a YouTube search. And
Does it come up?
This one's called just Joyce Byers losing her shit for 4 minutes straight.
Serious.
And the first like 30 seconds is her like breaking the wall down. Remember that? So
she goes and gets an axe, man.
So anyways, here's.
He was here.
Oh, come on, Joyce. Just look around at this place. Oh, your Christmas lights? The hell am I supposed to think? You're such a great mom? You're a mess.
Maybe I am a mess. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm out of my mind. But God help me, I will keep these lights up until the day I die. I think there's a chance that Will's still out there.
Amen.
Oh.
Get out!
Oh, Joyce. And that's just
That's Joyce Byers' energy right there.
Here's her with Hopper.
I don't make it back.
Yeah, well, then I'll go. You stay. Hitting me? He's my son, Hop. My son. I'm going. You took my boy away from me.
Oh, that's just 1 minute of the 4. I love Joyce.
So since we're on Joyce Byers, this, I didn't know what category to put this under, WTF or random facts, but I'll do it here. Another part of the reason I love this show is because they brought back some of our favorite 80s and 90s characters into this show, or actors and actresses, I should say. Winona Ryder hadn't really been around. She hadn't been in much. She ran into some struggles a decade earlier where she was caught shoplifting. It was very confusing to everybody because nobody understood things like that then, why someone would shoplift if they were wealthy. And so she kind of got, thrown off of her, she was like getting Academy Award nominations before that. And then all of a sudden she was just thrown off the path of her acting career. And then all of a sudden this show comes in 2016 and Winona Ryder is starring in it. Not only is Winona Ryder starring in it, but Matthew Modine is starring in it. Mm-hmm. And Matthew Modine, like Todd said, is from Vision Quest. And he is wasn't he in a biking movie? I feel like he was like around. What else was Matthew Modine in? And his crazy hair.
He's just loud and Swain, sweetie. Oh, he's in wasn't he in the AIDS movie with Alan Alda walking?
Oh, and the band played on. Yes, which was one of my favorite. Again, another TV. That was more. It wasn't a documentary, but it was telling the story of the AIDS crisis, and he was in that. So he was around in the 80s and 90s too. And then all of a sudden he's back. And then as we get into other seasons, I know we're not going to go into their characters yet, but Sean Astin, who was in Goonies,
he's Rudy, sweetie.
He was Rudy, and he becomes Bob in the show. And then Paul Reiser, who was in Beverly Hills Cop and Mad About You and a bunch of shows. He's then in season 2 also. So they're bringing in all these people, kind of like they did on Psych.
Yeah.
The show Psych, they bring in all sorts of 80s, actors and actresses. So that's really enjoyable too. So I just want to say that about Winona Ryder, that it was just really fun to have her in this show.
She's easy to root for.
She's so good.
Yeah.
So
my next WTF is Steve, who I love.
Yes.
I certainly didn't love him in the beginning of the show, but he kind of turns it around all in one episode. And you want to talk a little bit about why that happened?
Yeah, from what we've understood about Steve's character, is that Joe Keery, also lead singer of Joe, the band, he was supposed to come in and just be kind of like a side character that is killed off. And there's a scene at the end of Stranger Things season 1 where he comes back in with his bat and helps Jonathan and Nancy. And that was actually supposed to be Lonnie. Mm-hmm. That it was written for their dad. Like that was supposed to be kind of their dad coming in and helping them. But they got rid of Lonnie, thank goodness, good riddance. And they had Steve have what do they call it? A hero, they changed his character from being a villain to a hero.
Right. Thank you for that. And
yes.
Then,
can I just say, I think it's just because he was so well received. I mean, they had obviously taped it all already. They couldn't get the audience, feedback, but I think he was just fun to work with.
The directors just kind of liked him.
They just liked him. Yeah.
I have one more big WTF.
Okay.
I assume it's the same one that you have.
Okay, what is it?
Do you have any that
I have
Go ahead.
I have a few.
You go ahead.
I would say number one, this is just a WTF that always bothers me. The whole Papa thing, Brenner.
Papa.
And again, it's just so gross that and this is about not the creators of the show, but the actual show itself, that these children have to call this scientist Papa, and he treats them like crap and beyond treating them like crap, he makes them science experiments and they have to call him Papa. It's it messes with their heads so bad. And he stole these children. That's a whole nother thing we can get into in later seasons. So Brenner is just gross. The other thing that's gross is Nancy Wheeler deciding to go into that tree.
That's tough.
She has this moment where she and Jonathan are looking around because they're trying to figure out where the monster is and get information. And then they notice that a deer has been killed and taken into this tree. And actually, Jonathan doesn't know it's in the tree. But Nancy figures this out and decides to go into the tree, which is a portal to the Upside Down, all by herself.
Yeah.
And A, it's gross because
Yeah.
it's all slimy and gross. And B, no one would do that. You wouldn't do
Nancy's trying to find.
that. Barb.
That's right. And that's
know.
my last WTF.
I know. Was that yours?
Yeah. It's the I'm with Barb campaign. I mean,
Justice for Barb?
we could do a whole podcast on it. But just in case anybody doesn't know, obviously the whole show is built around Will finding Will. And then Barb, the same thing happens to Barb, yet
gets taken.
nobody really cares too much about Barb. And then there was this social media backlash, like, what about Barb? What about Justice for Barb or whatever? And I found out through my research that I think the actress got nominated for an Emmy, and that was as a result of this campaign.
Yes.
Because she was a fine actress, but she wasn't Emmy worthy.
Special.
So anyways, and then there was like a backlash against the backlash.
Right.
Like, just forget about Barb. So anyway.
Then season 2, the premise of season 2, Nancy's story at least was all about Barb again.
Yeah.
So I think that was again speaking to the fans like, oh no, we haven't forgotten about Barb. You know, she's still in the back of our minds. But to Todd's point, you know, but let's talk a little bit about WTF, the fact that Nancy, so her boyfriend Steve says, come over to my house. I'm having a party. Lame party. There were only 4 people there.
Yeah.
But he's like, come over to my house and we're going to shotgun beers and have fun. And Nancy forces Barb to drive her there and then makes Barb come in with her. And then when Nancy wants to go upstairs and make out with Steve, she's like, Barb, go home.
Yeah.
So Nancy has reasons for feeling guilty.
So you on Team Nancy or Team Barb?
Well, I love Nancy. I love her character and she becomes such a
It wasn't
badass.
a good night for Nancy. Let's just say that.
Oh, and you know, let's say this. Let's do a little Zen Parenting Radio thing. I don't believe in shame. Like it's not I am bad, but I do believe in guilt, which is I did a bad thing.
Yeah.
And Nancy did a bad thing.
Yeah.
She should have some guilt about being like, bye, Barb, go home alone, because Barb then, well, first of all, she forces Barb to shotgun a beer.
Yeah.
And that's why Barb cuts her hand. So the reason she's bleeding is because Nancy forced her to shotgun a beer. So there's all these bad decisions that Nancy is forcing her to do. And then she's like, bye, Barb, go home. So not a good look for Nancy.
Yes. So I'm glad that we are in alignment regarding Justice for Barb.
Yeah, we are. We are.
That's all I have for WTF.
I think that is good.
This is like our 7th time doing this podcast. Is the next thing best scene, or am I just making that up?
I think you put that in.
think I
This
put
is a
that
new Todd thing.
I have a new sound effect for best scene.
Let's
Maybe
hear
it's really best quote.
Okay.
Hey, Dad, you must have jumped this thing about 50 yards.
It's nothing to be proud of, Rusty. 50 yards.
That should
Yeah.
really be best quote. The audio is not that great. So I feel like
I have my best scene, my favorite scene.
I think we have the same one.
Great. That's cool.
Yeah.
So play it.
Oh, that's right. You have it in the thing. So the thing with the thing.
The thing started at 22.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Go! Go! Yeah, that's right! You better run! She's our friend and she's crazy! She'll come back here and she'll kill you! You hear me? She'll kill you, you sons of bitches! They'll kill you, you hear me?
What I love about this show is they don't sanitize the way
No.
kids talk.
Kids would say that.
Kids would say that.
They'll kill you.
And there's so many different examples of that, and I love that because it's probably one of the more dramatic moments in the
Sure.
first season.
So let's just say real quick what happens, like to set up that scene that Todd just played. There's these two bullies that have been terrorizing Mike and the other kids for a long time. And that's just, even before any of this stuff happened with the Upside Down. And this is a point where they're terrorizing Mike and asking him to jump off of a cliff that it's already been said by Hopper that no one could survive it. Okay. So, but Mike's going to do it because Dustin has a knife to his throat. I mean, which is so Stand By Me, isn't
Right.
it, Todd?
Totally.
Do you remember when, who is it? Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep.
It's the whole total Stand By Me thing. But Mike is willing for his friend to jump. And when he jumps, 11 shows up again. They had kind of pushed her away, but she shows up, helps him fly back up. And then she breaks the kid's arm, like just by going like this with her head, like she just cocks her head and it breaks his arm. And then they start running away because they're scared. And then Dustin says, run away. This is our friend.
Right.
And she's crazy.
I know.
You and I both laughed really hard.
That's right. There is kind of a second favorite scene I have.
Okay.
And it's after Will is back in the hospital at the very end of season 1.
Oh my God, that's so good.
And the kids are finally able to see their friend after the whole season. So they're running into the hospital room.
Be careful. Be careful. Oh, move.
Guys, go easy on him.
You won't believe what happened when you were gone, man.
It was mental.
You had a funeral.
Jennifer Hayes was crying
And Troy peed himself.
in front of the whole
Yeah.
school.
Oh. Will may not be as good as we think he
Well,
is.
that
sweetie.
cough is going to result in something soon.
Right.
Something gross.
Man, that's gross.
Man, that's gross.
The only other favorite scene I have is when Elle flips the van.
I put that as a WTF.
Really?
Because
Interesting.
it's amazing. Like
Yes.
that scene, if you do not know that's coming,
Yeah.
it's so moving.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds weird, but the kids are racing, trying to, get away from all of these vans that are chasing them. And they're going right toward a van and Elle just flips the van. And it's so cool.
2 other honorable mentions. Hopper recalling back of his experience with his daughter, Sarah. Heart-wrenching.
The most heart-wrenching scene.
And then at the very, very end, Will coughing up the slug in the bathroom,
Sweetie, it's not a slug. His
not.
name is Dart.
according to Dustin.
Yeah, his name is Dart. So I think it's time to do Zen parenting.
And then we're going to roll in the deep.
We are.
So I'm going to go right from here to here. So what is deep about? Let's just restate what the title of this podcast is.
I sure will. So the title of this podcast is Stranger Things 1, Season 1, What the Upside Down Teaches Us About Our Shadow Selves, Trauma, and Grief.
Okay.
So, obviously we love this show just because it's fun to watch, but part of the reason, again, one of the many pieces of why I love it so much is there's many layers to it.
Yeah.
It means more than just what you're seeing. They're pulling from our psyche, from psychological understanding and how we relate to our more shadow selves. So again, this rolling in the deep part is about exploring the emotional depth of the show. So let's just talk about the upside down as a shadow realm.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just a spooky alternate dimension. It mirrors the dark, unconscious parts of ourselves in our world. Okay. So regardless of how it started, created, Vecna, Mind Flayer, don't get too lost in the minutia of who's there. It's supposed to be a reflection of our unconscious selves, and it represents what we repress. So what do we repress in life? Our fear, our trauma, our grief, our shame, and the parts that we don't want to see, but we can't escape them. So this is very Zen Parenting Radio because Todd and I did so many podcasts about trauma, about grief, about shame, and how these are parts of ourselves that we have to learn how to understand, listen to, and integrate. If we don't, they become the impetus. I think that's the right word, of our behavior.
Yeah.
They become the pressing part of our behavior.
Well, and if we don't have a relationship with our shadow, with our upside down, with the things that we hide, deny, or repress, if we don't have a relationship with it and try to manage it, it's going to manage us.
If we don't make the unconscious conscious,
Yes.
then it will take over.
Yeah.
So it's, Carl Jung is the therapist. He worked under Freud. And so he's the one who at least started talking about the shadow selves, and he describes it living beneath our conscious awareness. And if we don't recognize it, then it's like a puppeteer for us. Like it then everything we do is based on our trauma or our fears or our triggers or what we're trying to deny, and everything. We can't even live in the present, really, because everything we're doing is based on our past. So a few things about Carl Jung and the shadow. He described the shadow as the part of our psyche that holds everything we deny, or avoid: our anger, our insecurity, our fear, our selfishness. But the shadow isn't bad. See, this is the part that people have a hard time understanding. It's just human.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we repress those parts of ourselves or keep them unconscious because we consider those bad, and we don't want to look at it. We don't want to deal with it. We just want to push it away, but denying it makes it stronger. So like, for example, like, let me bring this into real life. Like, one of the therapeutic options is something called EMDR, and I've done plenty of it myself.
What does EMDR stand for?
Eye motor desensitization response. Okay, EMDR, eye motor desensitization response. So EMDR, the whole process of that is taking you to a place in your mind, like something that, and there's more to it than this, believe me, there's many layers, but I'm just going to try and generally tell you a place in your mind that you've been unwilling to look at, and taking yourself to that place in your mind. So you do have to feel what that experience in your mind felt like, but then you can also then start to see it through the lens of your current age. So instead of, because that trauma is stuck in your brain.
So when you said your mind, sorry to interrupt.
Sure, no, please.
Is it usually memories, or could it be just a bunch of stuff that your brain is making up that you didn't actually live through?
No, it's usually a trauma or an experience. And let me be really clear about the word trauma. Trauma doesn't mean it has to be something that other people call a trauma, like a molestation or a rape, or that it basically a trauma in your mind or body is based on how you reacted to something. Two people could be in the same car accident. One person could walk away and not feel traumatized, and the other one can walk away and feel traumatized. Not because they're weaker, but because of their inability to process it. Maybe not someone to, talk to about it. Maybe it's their third car accident, and so it has more significant impact. There's all sorts of layers why some people feel traumas and some people don't.
Well, and we all have trauma. And my example always is, if we were born naturally from our mother and not through C-section, but just the journey to be born,
the vaginal
is a traumatic experience. Like, think about it. We're in this nice, warm, cuddly womb, and then we have to make this journey to the outside world. That's traumatic. So we all have it.
Exactly. And that's and we don't have a memory of that per se, but that is an experience for our bodies, right? And it's all purposeful, because the tightness of it squeezes out all the things we don't need anymore. Like, everything is perfect, in how it works, but there's still trauma to it. And so, the goal isn't to destroy these parts of ourselves, but to integrate these parts of ourselves, to understand and accept these parts as we are. And to go back to the EMDR, when you're doing that, not only do you bring up something that maybe you've been repressing, but you then start to process it like an adult. So you can see it without that 8-year-old feeling, because a lot of times if something happened to you when you're 8, 9, 10, it gets stored as an 8, 9, 10-year-old. So anytime you think about it, you feel the fear you felt when you were 8. If you can open it up, and there's other ways to do this. You don't just have to do EMDR. You can do this through, CBT or DBT, and there's lots of different ways to do it, hypnotherapy. But this is one way, is then you can start to look at it with the eyes of an adult, integrate it, and it doesn't have the same power over you anymore.
Yeah.
So you still have the trauma. You're never going, I always say to the girls, anything that's happened to you will have always happened to you. So you kind of have to figure out how to process it, how to talk about it, and how to find a place for it where it becomes part of your strength and what you can learn from versus, so like, just to kind of give you guys examples of how this connects to Stranger Things, Will, he feels very different. He's very sensitive. We learn more about him in future seasons, but his parents have been divorced. His father is absent. There's a lot of trauma that he has. Same with Jonathan. Same with Elle. I mean, there's so much trauma there. There's so many things that each of the characters, and as we go into season 2, 3, 4, 5, you meet other characters who have trauma as well. And so that becomes a part of how the Upside Down pulls you in. Okay, so it's really deep.
I just asked ChatGPT, like, who are some teachers? You said Carl Jung. I just said, hey, who are some others? And just a few to mention in case anybody's like, oh, this is interesting. Gabor Mate, who's he's all about trauma, right? They mentioned Richard Rohr.
Sure.
Talks about the second half of life requiring confronting the shadow and letting go of the ego.
Yeah, he uses a lot of Jung stuff.
I love Richard Rohr. Mark Nepo, poet, philosopher, known for emotionally resonant metaphors. Esther Perel, and some guy named Michael Mead, who I think was a mythologist or something. So anyways, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so let's bring it back to Stranger Things. So how Stranger Things brings the shadow to life. So Will's time in the Upside Down, he survives it, but the experience leaves psychological residue on him, literally. He is literally haunted inside of his body, is proof that the shadow leaves marks. Okay, so again, there's meta layers here because there's the trauma he had before even going in the Upside Down, but then there's the trauma from being in the Upside Down. So, and then Eleven's trauma, her powers are tied to pain and fear. She is actually in season 1. It shows how the whole goal of getting her to use her powers is to hurt other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's all tied to that. She embodies what happens when the shadow is exploited instead of cared for. And then Hopper's grief. Hopper, you find out in season 1 that he lost a daughter, that she died of cancer, and why he is the way he is now, why he has such a hard, tough exterior, because when you see him in his flashbacks, he's a warm, loving,
totally different personality.
Shaved,
he's less grumpy
guy. So he buried his pain over losing his daughter in his own personal Upside Down. And once he confronts that, he becomes more present to what he needs to do. So, just a few things that we can learn from this. We've kind of said these, but I'll just put them all together. I put them in bullets. Avoiding the dark doesn't protect us.
Boom.
It actually isolates us. And then here's a deep one, everybody. This probably could have gone under parenting, but I'll say it here. Kids pick up on the shadows that adults try to hide. So if you have pieces of you that you've been trying to hide, your kids, I'm not saying they know what happened, but they feel that change in behavior. They feel the triggers. They can hear in your voice when you don't want to discuss something. They pick up on your shadow self.
Well, and that's something we've been saying to parents forever is I call that baggage. And let's carry our own bags and not pass our bags down to our kids, because our kids are going to pick up their own bags from being in the world. So let's work on ourselves so that we don't have to let our kids unwind the stuff that we chose not to look at.
Unlearn things that weren't even theirs to begin with, Facing the shadow actually gives you strength. And we learn that, through Nancy's and Jonathan and Steve and Joyce and
all the courage.
Hopper, they're willing to go after these things. Empathy helps us integrate the shadow. Dustin, Mike, Lucas, they accept 11. They don't just help her. They help her face, her fears. They are loyal to her. Like one of my favorite scenes, another favorite quote is 11 says, she's crying and she says to Mike, I created, the portal. And you kind of learn more about that, but she's the one who ripped the space-time continuum. And she says, I'm the monster. And he says, you aren't the monster. You saved me. Don't you understand that? Like he's there to remind her that all that happened with, and again, this gets really deep into the minutia of Stranger Things, but yes, that happened and she caused that, but she was put in that situation.
Yeah.
She didn't do it because she wanted to. And bottom line is we all have an upside down, whether it's grief, fear, the parts of ourselves that we're afraid to talk about, admit, acknowledge. We have to heal. We all have an upside down. We all have a shadow self. So
taking one small segue from this rolling in the deep category, and this is kind of deep, but not talking about the upside down, it reminded me of, once again, Stephen King. He did the movie called Stand By Me, or he wrote the movie. Rob Reiner directed it. But the very last line in that, one of the very last lines of that movie, you remember what it was? He's typing it on his computer.
Are you talking about the 12-year-old?
Yeah.
No one has friends like they do when they were 12?
The line is this: I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone?
Right.
And that's by Gordy LaChance, the character. And I feel like that quote totally like captures the spirit of these young men.
And the guy who plays Gordy, his name's Will Wheaton. So you wonder if maybe Will was taken
Who knows?
for Will Byers. Yeah, that's the thing, is there's all this overlap,
Yeah.
But I agree. And that's what I mean about when I was 12, because I know we're looking through the viewpoint of boys.
Yep.
But girls had that too. Like, that's why I remember being 12 so vividly. Watching these guys, I'm not like, oh, this is only a boy's story. This is, this is us at 12. We have memories of our friends, and they became everything to us. They became our family. One other thing I wanted to say in Rolling in the Deep, especially right now in what's going on in our world, is that science without ethics is dangerous.
Oh.
Okay. So, Hawkins lab, they value data and control over human life, but they are like exposing vulnerable children in the process. Dr. Brenner is a symbol of unchecked authority. He's cold, he's clinical, and he's self-justifying. Sound familiar? And there's complete absence of accountability, a complete absence of empathy. The lab causes literal and psychological damage, and they hide behind national security.
Yep.
And it just reflects real world tensions around scientific experimentation. I believe in science. It's not that. It's that we have to do science with some understanding of,
and as
you're
talking, this is, we're in the middle of the beginning of this AI.
Yes.
And, depending on who you ask, some people like it's going to be the end of mankind, and other people like, oh, it won't be that big of a deal. We just got to manage it. But I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a part of me that's like, I don't really know how this is going to work. And, I used to think Terminator and Terminator 2 were like just, pieces of James Cameron's imagination. And now I'm like, oh, interesting. I view it differently now. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
I try to be.
Here's my example. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Like sometimes like I'll be asking ChatGPT like for something for work or getting ready for the podcast, and I'll be like, no, do it this way. No, do it this way. No, do it this way. And I'm thinking on the other side, like if I'm like the computer intelligence, I'd be like,
slow down, Todd.
What do you give me? Like I'm just barking orders at you, and I feel like this ChatGPT fellow that I've created out of this computer is like, screw you.
I have actually said, I was looking up something, I think, for Stranger Things, and I actually said something like, no, that's not right. That's not what I mean.
And my manners are being bypassed because I think it's a robot that doesn't have intelligence.
Well, it'll come back and it'll say, oh, sorry about that. You're right. Like it's got, it's creepy.
It's creepy. It's totally creepy. And I kind of like uploaded all of my Men Living stuff and Todd Adams coaching stuff and Zen Parenting stuff so it get to know me better, so it can have better responses. And it is, I almost named it. Like you can name your chat GPT. And I'm like, that's too far. Like, I don't want to name whatever this thing is that I'm asking for help.
What if it's Todd 2.0?
Maybe. Who knows?
All of a sudden it'll be like multiplicity. Like someone will show up and
Sweetie,
they'll say,
you want to do multiplicity?
No, I don't want to do
Great
multiplicity.
Movie. Are we ready for parenting?
One more thing. 11 is a modern day chosen one. I thought this was interesting. Like the heroes from E.T. or Goonies or X-Men, she represents otherness, power, and vulnerability all at once. Her name, which is a number, obviously, like I said before, it totally suggests how she's dehumanized. and tell the boys, help her reclaim her identity. So, the modern day chosen one, and I'm putting that in air quotes, that's what E.T. was. You
Yeah.
know, in the Goonies, it was that guy, that one guy. Who's the chosen one? Is it that guy says, I'll take you home with me?
Sloth?
Yeah.
I don't think Sloth is a chosen one, sweetie. I don't know if there's a chosen one in Goonies, but if it is, it's not Sloth.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll just stop there. Parental guidance. Let's do it.
Gonna be like you. And the cats and the cradles and the sea.
I have nothing for this category.
Okay, you'll like the things that I've written down. You can kind of riff with me. So I'd say parental guidance is about, talking to parents about what they can take from this or what they can learn from a show like this or what it's trying to say. So first of all, believe your kids.
Yeah.
Believe your kids. And everyone thinks Joyce is losing it, right? But she knows her kid. She knows her kid, and she refuses to stop believing he's alive because when she picks up the phone, she's like, I know his breathing.
Yeah.
And she says to Hopper, wouldn't you know your kid's breathing? And I can totally, a parent knows, you just know.
I can pick up on your snoring, sweetie.
I know. I know. It wakes me up now. It wakes me up, this snoring. And you have to promise me that it does stop eventually, right?
Of course.
Okay.
It's intermittent throughout the night.
Well, that's because I'm waking up and going back to sleep.
No, there's times when you're sleeping restfully and you're not snoring.
Okay, I need to know that.
I just
That's
told you.
Okay, you need to focus on
Document it.
that more. I don't like the idea that I'm snoring, but I know I am. Todd used to tell me I was, and I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, and then he'd try and record me. But now I wake myself up.
You're recording yourself in your brain.
I can hear it. And I can hear me like drop in, like where I'm kind of breathing. And then all of a sudden it's like the breathing totally changed.
Sweetie, you just got to go nasal strips and mouth tape like me.
No, I am not putting something on my mouth called hostage tape. No, thank you.
I'm using medical tape now. It's cheaper than hostage tape.
Okay, so again, Joyce's trust in, Will it's not just about instinct, it's about knowing him, and that continues in all the other seasons. Like she understands that, he needs to draw. Remember what we just watched the other night in season 2, that he can't speak what he's experiencing, but she's like, he knows how to draw it.
Yeah.
And there's a point in season 1 when Hopper's like, I think Hawkins' lab took Will because I saw a picture in a room and, is this drawing? And she's like, what was the drawing like? And he's like, it was stick figures. She's like, not Will.
Yeah.
Because Will draws amazing. So you just know your kid. So also another thing for parental guidance, stay open. Hopper starts the season super cynical, closed off. But when he softens and listens, he becomes a really important protector.
Yeah.
Listen to your kids, stay open. We're not always going to get our kids' experiences right away, but we can stay curious.
A few I have is kids are just ridiculously intuitive and creative in a way that us old people are not.
Totally.
You can be both scared and brave at the same time. As a matter of fact, you can't be courageous without fear.
Go hand in
And
hand.
there's a lot of fear and courage that is illustrated in this show.
Exactly. And, probably the one that causes the most humor for me, or one of them that gives me a lot of humor, is kids see how you show up and not what you say.
Yeah.
Mike and Nancy's parents and baby Holly's parents, Ted and Karen Wheeler, are in this show. And everyone's like, yeah, they're at home. They're there for the kids. They don't know what's going on. So they may be saying, hey, I think Karen says a bunch of times, Nancy, you can tell me anything. Mike, I'm here for you. But they're clueless. And
Right.
Ted is the worst. Like Ted has moments where he's like, if there was a girl living in our basement, we would know it. And he didn't. And Mike with a girl, he would never be with a girl. And he was. Mike and Nancy doing something together, never. And they were. Like, the joke is how clueless Ted and Karen are.
Sweetie, I got some clips ready for Ted Wheeler.
Okay.
There's a part of me that is Ted Wheeler, just so you know.
Dad, hear what the chief said. Michael. So, me and Barb are gonna study at our house tonight.
Language.
So we're under house arrest just because Mike's friend got lost on the way home.
Wait, this is real?
Steve.
Mike.
Language.
It's just cut up versions of.
Come back.
Hold on, this is my favorite part.
Here, have some juice, okay?
She's about to get mad at her husband.
Michael, see what happened? That is really unfair, son. We care.
Mike.
No.
I hope you're enjoying your chicken, Ted.
What did I do?
What did I do?
Hey, what did I do?
What did I do?
And then there's also a point when they think Will is dead. And Karen's like, I should go talk to Mike. And he's like, no, he'll come to us when he's ready. His friend just died. You go to your kid. He's just a mess.
Here comes more.
This girl?
What happened to her hair?
No.
Absolutely not. Our son with a girl? I mean, believe me, if he had a girl sleeping in this house, we'd know about it. Wouldn't we?
This girl. What has she done?
God, is she Russian?
Like this.
I need.
Is she Russian?
So, our kids know when we're emotionally checked out. And if we are, they're going to turn to other people or their peers. And then, the last thing I have is let your kids be exactly who they are. Look at the heroes of this show. You know what I mean? The heroes of the show are the kids that are supposed to be the nerds, the D&D kids, the kids who are always in the AV club, the outcasts, the kids who are bullied, and they're heroes. And let your kids geek out over D&D and radios and science. And again, I know now it's different because it's video games and we have to watch that because we don't want them playing too much. So it's not that simple. But I think it's just another reminder that even if you don't understand your kids' weird interests, honoring them shows your kids that they're worth celebrating.
Can I give you 15 more seconds of Ted?
If it's worth it.
Should be out there looking for him.
Honey, we have to trust them. Okay? This is our government. They're on our side.
This is our government. They're on our side.
Sorry, I just love Ted. Ted Wheeler. Bless your heart.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing for parental guidance. Pay attention. There's a really big thing about body language in this show. Like 11, as I was saying, the 30 words 11 says it is actually 200. 11 barely speaks, but her whole story, her eyes, she's first
Oh
of
my
all,
God.
Millie Bobby Brown's a great actress.
Yes.
But you can see where she's at based on what she looks like. So pay attention to her body language. And, Mike, he sees her.
Yeah.
Like Mike doesn't need explanations. He just sees her. So kids don't always have the words, but their behavior is communication. And when they act out, there's usually something else going on. So, so that's it for parenting.
All right, here we go.
No, what did it teach us?
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I think I just said all mine. So
Okay, so big life lessons. I'll just rattle them off since we've done all these. Kids are smarter and braver than we think.
Truth.
We already talked about Carl Jung and the shadow, and the trauma doesn't just go away. It shows up unless we integrate it. Being different is a superpower. And final one, which might be a stretch, but control might seem powerful, but connection is what actually heals. Like in the end, like some of the most lovely parts of this show are when people reconnect.
Yeah.
And that, Brenner tries to control 11, but when Mike meets her or when the boys meet her and they just want to be with her and connect with her, that's when she becomes most powerful.
No doubt.
So now we can do Cringe or Classic.
All right, let's do that. Why don't we come?
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Once again, got nothing for this category.
Classic. I just feel like it's one word or the other.
Right. For Stranger Things.
Correct.
Yes, it's just the ultimate classic.
It is, I think, like I said, I think it's, if not my favorite show, right up there in the top 3.
All right. Best quote? Are we doing that one?
Yeah. So yeah, my favorite quote, I mean,
May the force be with you.
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 All right. What do you got?
we were kind of joking before we started recording because mine is not a quote. It's like a minute long, but the whole thing makes me laugh, and it happens to be Dustin. And just to set it up, they 11 is trying to find Will in the Upside Down and realizes that she can't do it with the radio.
Yep.
But then she realizes that if she had a bath or if she had water, a sensory deprivation tank of some kind, she could then find Will. So they have to create one. And to create one, they decide to call their science teacher at 10 o'clock on a Saturday. And then this is the conversation.
Oh, I got to get that one ready.
Yeah.
It is right here.
Hello,
Mr. Clark, it's Dustin.
Dustin? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I have a science question.
It's 10 o'clock on Saturday. Why don't we pick this up on
Sensory deprivation tanks, specifically how to build one.
sensory deprivation? What is this for?
Fun.
Okay. Well, why don't we talk about it Monday after school, okay?
You say we should never stop being curious, to always open any curiosity door we find.
Dustin.
Why are you keeping this curiosity door locked?
That's it.
That's so good.
And then he starts writing down how to do it. But I love the scene because Dustin's on the phone. Everyone is behind him.
Yeah, hoping he can extract it because there is no Google.
Yes.
There's no encyclopedias that can talk about sensory
They can't go to the library at 10 o'clock on a Saturday. It's not open. So he's calling his teacher. Just the fact that Mr. Clark answers the phone because he's on a date watching The Thing, which again is another layer of having The Thing with his girlfriend. But he answers the phone and then Dustin gets the information.
I think I have two favorite quotes. This is one of them.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Right?
Sweetheart.
And then the other one, which I don't have queued up, but it is Hopper saying mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
And he says it twice. Coffee and contemplation. Yeah. Basically, leave me alone because he's hungover.
Yes.
So is it Where Are They Now or Music Game?
Music game. I'm getting nervous. It's Where Are They Now?
Where are you now? Where are you now that I need you?
This is all you.
So basically, I didn't want to go through each actor in the show because Stranger Things continues. There is season 2, season 3, season 4, and season 5 comes out. And instead of doing it like dropping 8 episodes or however many episodes as they've done in the past, they are dropping an episode on Thanksgiving, November 21st, which is Cameron's birthday. Then they're going to drop the next episode on Christmas. And then they're going to drop the last one on New Year's Eve. So they're kind of, I think everyone gets annoyed when the Duffer Brothers don't like this, but they're like small movies.
Yeah.
You know, they're like movies they're like, no, it's just a long episode, but whatever. So instead of going through the actors, I thought Todd could just play the trailer for season 5.
I think about that night all the time. The night it came for you. All of this started. Everything changed. We failed. But we need to be ready.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, it continues, but you got the gist.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. I'm so excited.
Sweetie's so excited.
All right, music game.
All right, music game.
That song, the one that makes me go all night long.
All right, so this is the category where we use something not so obvious to best describe the vibe of whatever topic or movie or TV show we happen to be talking about.
You got it.
Is that a concise way of putting it?
Yeah, the vibe, trying, as you said it, not too obvious, but kind of capturing everything we discussed and what the show represents.
All right, so you want me to go first?
Yes, you go ahead.
All right, so
Ooh. Good, Todd.
I like this one.
You with a smile. Buy you like you want me to. Got that little child inside of me and such a part of you.
So that's Disarm. The ears burn.
Yeah, defend it.
First, it's weird because Pumpkins are from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. When I think of Pumpkins, I think of being a little kid. There is a line in there. It says the killer in me is the killer in you. So there's some violence. And it's just a very childhood centered song. It actually has to do with Billy and the abuse that he received as a young boy. Very traumatic thing. And it's a song that I love. So I just went with this.
And the dun dun, it's eerie.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Yeah, it's got like the same
does.
feel to it. So that's what I got.
Todd, you know what? I gotta say, you've been really good at the music game.
Thank you.
I always feel like I can do the music game and play and hold my head high, but you've been really kind of crushing.
Well, usually when we're playing it with our friends, we're drinking and we're on a time crunch.
Yeah.
I get time to think about it.
Yeah.
What do you got there, babe?
So I have a video for you, and so it says, if you look at the videos I sent you, it says music game.
Oh, you did?
But don't play it yet.
Oh,
Let
good.
me explain.
Good, because I don't have that right now, so I got to find it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But you have what I sent you, right?
I'm going to look for it right now as you're talking.
Okay, good. So I'm going to set it up. So I have to say that in some ways this is obvious. But I also found it to be really powerful because I'll explain what it is. It's the song Heathens by 21 Pilots. Which is actually written for a different movie called Suicide Squad. So that's what it was written for. But it's actually kind of a personal story for the lead singer, Tyler Joseph. He wrote it for the fans and everything, but he wanted the message to apply to being misunderstood or being left out of a community or left out of a clique, which is kind of what Suicide Squad is about. But it's both an invitation like for empathy, and it has kind of an eerie sound to it. And there's one of the quotes is, "It looks like you might be one of us." But why I chose it is because when 21 Pilots were playing a concert in Romania, they used the Stranger Things music, theme song, and combined it with Heathens. And before they started playing the song, they were putting clips of Stranger Things up. So this video, if you found it,
I did. I do have it.
So just go ahead and play it, and you'll hear
from the beginning.
From the beginning, you'll hear the crowd, and then the clips, and then the song.
You don't know how some feel.
Isn't that good?
That's really good. You shared that with me when this came out,
and actually
2 years ago.
Yeah, those scenes are from season 4.
Yeah.
So I know that's a little unfair.
Yeah, I feel like you cheated a little bit, but that's okay.
You know what? When else was I going to be able to play that?
I hear you.
And so that's the thing. So it's okay if you guys vote for Todd because he picked Disarm by Smashing Pumpkins. But I'm like, as soon as I saw Music Game, I'm like, I'm using 21 Pilots.
Sweetie knew what she was doing.
I did. So that is that.
All right.
Do you have a quiz for me?
I do. I chose to go with the challenging ones because the easy and the mediums were way too easy.
Is it just season 1?
It's just season
Okay.
1.
Okay. Let's see if I can do it.
I know you're not going to be able to get it all.
Okay, of course. I always miss.
What brand of camera does Jonathan use to take photos?
Nikon?
Canon.
Damn.
What does Mr. Clark say is the best material to build a sensory deprivation tank? What does Mr. Clark say is the best material?
Material. I remember he says the salt.
There you go. Done.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay.
What song plays during Eleven's flashback when she's in the isolation chamber?
Ooh, Atmosphere?
Elegia by New Order?
Oh, no, I wouldn't remember that.
What is the name of the blonde agent who works for Dr. Brenner?
Oh, the woman?
Yeah.
Who has blood coming out of her eyes?
Probably.
I don't know.
Agent Connie Fraser.
Wouldn't have got that.
What is the exact D&D campaign length the boys play at the beginning of season 1?
10 hours.
Very good. What object does 11 flip over in the grocery store?
She flips over the cart.
Shopping cart. Good
Shopping
job,
cart,
babe.
yeah.
What insult does Mike use to get Lucas to apologize? Oh boy, this is rough.
Insult. I don't remember.
I don't know if this is true because it is the internet, but it says you're just mad because you don't have a dad.
I don't remember that.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think he says that.
Let's
But can we just for a second, because we didn't talk about that, why Lucas is mad?
Sure.
There's a really lovely scene where Dustin asks Mike because he wants them to make up because Mike and Lucas are fighting. And Dustin says, Lucas is your best friend, right? Because Lucas and Mike live next door to each other and do the walkie-talkies just like in Big.
Yep.
And he's like, no, you guys are all my best friends. He's like, no, Lucas is your best friend. He was your first best friend. And then all of a sudden this girl is in our party or in our mix and he just misses you. You're paying attention to her and not him. Yeah. So Lucas really isn't a bad kid. He just is a little envious.
Truth.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, I think there's 2 or 3 more. What state is 11's birth mother said to be from?
Well, they drive to it, so it has to be Indiana, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Okay.
What is the name of the dinner owner who briefly shelters
Benny.
11? Benny.
You know who that is?
That's Toby.
Toby from This Is Us.
I know. I love Toby. And then last but not least, what is Hopper's daughter's name?
Sarah.
Very good. Very good. So that's it. You did very well on the trivia, sweetie.
Yeah,
Nice
not
job.
bad.
Anything else?
No.
Closing thoughts?
Just that I was really excited to do this one. If you guys haven't watched Stranger Things, go watch it.
Even if you have, rewatch it.
Rewatch it and get ready for season 5 because right now, for those of you who have not watched, you have time to get ready for season 5. You know, you can watch 1, 2, 3, 4. And for those of you who have watched it and you're like, I kind of remember it, rewatch it. It's just as good. And for those of you that are like super fans like Todd and I, we're right there with you.
That's right.
Darling, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If